Welcome to A Pinch of Basile. I am your wonderful host, Basil, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm here with my wonderful co-host. I mean, I'm talking, I can't do a thing without her, for God's sake. And how can we do anything without our chief engineer, Christian Meyer? Christian, how are you? Janice, how are you? How's everyone doing?
I'm good. Missed you guys last week.
Yeah, did you really? I was pining. I was pining for you for sure. There's no two ways about it.
I had a little tear in my eye.
I was a little perplexed. You know, it is what it is. But listen, folks, we are going to switch things just around a little bit right now. We are seeing us, so you can see us live on Basile Fans. Also on our wonderful AmericaMatters.us. You can catch us on Facebook. But right now, we're going to go right to our guest, Congressman Gus Bilarakis from Florida's 12th Congressional District. He serves on the Energy and Commerce Committee. He is the vice chairman of the Veterans Affairs Committee. He also is the co-chairman of the Military Veterans Caucus, co-chairman of the Congressional Hellenic Caucus, and the Congressional Hellenic Israel Alliance. Gus, welcome to the show, for God's sakes. Great to have you back on with us.
It's great to be back, Basil. And it was great to see you in Tarpon Springs, Florida, I guess about a week ago. We had a great time, didn't we?
Oh, my God. It was so much fun. For those of you, I don't care if you're Greek or not Greek, folks, you must go to the Epiphany celebration in Tarpon Springs before you go on and move on to the upstairs area or downstairs, wherever you may be going. But before you pass this life, you've got to see the Epiphany celebration. Perhaps one of the most beautiful ceremonies I've ever seen. And I was so happy to have my good friend Gus Bilarakis with me, along with Joanna, and along with who is a wonderful person. I met her for the first time, Liz Quitos, who is my girlfriend in a previous life. And of course, everyone, your wonderful wife. It was great having lunch with you. It was great being all together in Tarpon Springs. What a wonderful time. Gus, I got to be honest and ask you a few questions. And I'm here. How are things on Capitol Hill right now?
Well, Basil, I think that the leadership is wasting its time. We've had, now, don't get me wrong, we're having committee meetings on a regular basis. I had a veterans meeting today where I'm the ranking member on economic opportunities, and we had a meeting on, was a hearing on homeless vets, how we can get them VASH vouchers, as soon as possible so they can get their, the residents, and then also make sure that we have wraparound services as well, meaning help them with electricity, help them with any healthcare needs, that kind of thing. So we did a good job today, and we worked in a bipartisan fashion in committee. However, on the floor of the House, not much is getting done, Basil. I think we voted on maybe 3 bills in the last 2 days. And tomorrow morning, I guess it'll be tomorrow morning. I know it's sometime tomorrow. We're going to vote on, again, impeachment, naming the House managers to the impeachment trial, if you will, in the Senate. And Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, has handpicked those House managers, and they're not very unbiased. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, you think? What a surprise, Gus. What a surprise.
Yeah, big surprise. I understand that I haven't seen the bill yet because they haven't presented it to us, but apparently Jerry Madler and Adam Schiff are 2 of the House managers. Yeah, very unbiased.
We know that's going to be unbiased, right?
Yeah.
Who knew?
Exactly.
Who knew?
They say they want a fair trial, and they give us Madler and Schiff.
Yeah. Oh my God! You see that? That was a Gus. Gus, that was a pig that just flew by. Anything can happen. You know, as far as anything. It's so sad that it has to get to this, and they are the ones who are going to be presenting this to the Senate. Is that correct?
Yeah, they'll be presenting it to the Senate, and we anticipate the trial in the Senate beginning on Tuesday.
Okay.
So I think personally, my thoughts are that it'll be over quickly, so that we can get to the people's business.
That would be nice.
It would be nice.
Yeah, it really would. And there's a lot of things that need to be done, right?
Yeah, there are a lot of things that need to be done. Address the prescription drug matter because the prices are too high. There are a lot of things, and then and then they put healthcare in general. Veterans Affairs are true American heroes. We don't need to be neglecting them.
Absolutely.
To score political points, for crying out loud, and that's what they're doing. So we hope that this will be over in the next couple of weeks, so we can get back to business. I think that the president, you'll probably ask me this question, Basil, so maybe I should wait. But on Iran, I thought that was a
we are definitely going to be talking about that, Gus, probably in the next segment where we're going to have a little bit more time. But I got to be honest with you, I watched the national championship game last night, and what a great. It was a wonderful applause break to see the president, the first lady walk onto the field, and the place went absolutely crazy when they saw them walk in. And it made me proud as an American that everyone loved them. And I really just got a big kick out of that. The First Lady, Melania, is just not only is she beautiful on the inside, but totally beautiful on the outside as well. And I got to be honest with you, it's just really great to see the ovation that they got yesterday.
And Basil, it's good for America because it sends the right message to the world that we're united, particularly on this issue with regard to what he did with Iran. It was perfectly executed.
After a few of these messages, we're going to be back after a few of these messages, folks, to be quite honest with you. But listen, remember, everything better with a pinch of basil. We are going to be right back after these messages. See you in a second.
Now, back to the show.
We are back. And
my God. We are indeed back. Yes, we are.
I knew you were there.
I'll tell you what, a lot of people are going, Basil, what the hell is wrong with your system? It really, I'm blaming it on everyone else except for me because that's just the kind of cat that I am.
Well, that's what we do. That's what we agree to do. Blame it on the Turks, Basil. Blame it on the Turks.
There you go. Yeah, well, because Basil, you're talking away and we are not hearing you. So I'm going to, Congressman, I want to share with you, Lisa says that she's angry that they're wasting our taxpayers' money instead of doing the work they need to do. So I know that you feel that way, and she's just expressing her frustration.
Is that Lisa?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what, Gus, you have been working while others have been screwing around. There, you said there's a group of congressmen and congresswomen who are get together who try to help pass legislation that's being looked upon, off to the side, and you guys are having passed this legislation. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, no, we have, but you're right. There's a small group, and they're really problem solvers on both sides of the aisle. But the leadership, it's Basil, it's all about messaging. It's all about the next election. It's all about going after President Trump. And you're right. It is a waste of. She should be angry because it's a waste of taxpayer dollars, and we're not sending the right message overseas. And I know we're going to talk about the Iran, but the president, we have to be united. Whatever happened, we always were united when it came to defending our country. Yeah,
that's true.
And that's exactly what we've been doing in defending our country and our allies overseas.
Absolutely. And the sad thing is that we can't get all on the same page because it's gotten so bloody political. And the thing is, we need to be all on the same page, especially when you have someone as the one terrorist general that I don't even want to say his name. I just believe he's a terrorist general that caused a lot of our American lives to be lost because of this.
Yeah.
And people don't want to see that. They only want to say, I heard that some of our people in the media on the left side are saying, oh my God, he was a martyr. He was unbelievable. He was beloved. By whom? Satan? I'm telling you, folks, get on the right page. And Congressman, I want you to talk about, because your boss, President Trump, did the right thing. And I think you'd agree with that.
Oh, absolutely. And, I talked to the National Security Advisor and the Secretary of State, and they said he made the call. We put the facts, on the table. We reviewed them and made the call. It wasn't an easy call because, let me tell you, I don't care what you say about this president, and I know you respect him a great deal, and a lot of people do. A lot of your listeners do. But, one thing is he loves his country, and he doesn't want to start a war. But when you have intelligence, telling you that this guy is orchestrating, planning to bomb our embassies, and all over, like at least 2 or 3 embassies, other targets in the next few days or in the next few weeks, you can't stand by. You can't stand by. You've got to protect the American people. And he was proactive. And then what he did was brilliant. They took a strike. We didn't. No American lives were killed. And then what he did, he showed restraint, responsibility. So
Absolutely.
Everyone should commend him for that, in my opinion.
Agreed. And the heroes that actually ran those actual what do you call them? The actual planes that fly around, the drones. Thank you. The drones. God bless them. I mean, they did a great job, and the intelligence work that was done.
The greatest military in the world. There's no question. And it's a shame, Basil, that some of the media, the mainstream media, misrepresents the facts. And sometimes you can't blame our constituents either because they don't have the facts in front of them. Right. That's why when I go home on weekends, I try to have town meetings. We have town hall meetings similar to this, where I can interact with my constituents and tell them what's really going on because I have access to a lot of information. I can't give them classified information,
sure.
Obviously, but what's available to the public, we want to make sure that they know and that we've made an educated decision.
And you don't want to share it with someone like me because I'll make a joke about it, and it's all about.
Trump. It's funny what President Trump said that the Democrats complained, leadership complained that they were not consulted, or he made the decision to strike. And Trump said, "Well, what are we going to do? Tell Schumer, so Schumer can go to Iran."
Right.
I don't believe he would do that. But there are some in this small, very tiny group that just may not have the best interests of our country in mind, not including Pelosi or Schumer and others, but some of the socialists that were elected just recently. I don't want to question anyone's patriotism, but just the rhetoric that comes out of their mouths, it really is disturbing, in my opinion.
Very much so. I think that maybe Basil is having some of those issues again.
Okay, well, we can talk, the two of us.
Sure.
Answer any questions.
So as far as the legislation that you have pending, because we looked and found quite a few bills that you've sponsored and co-sponsored, what's the status of that as far as, after this impeachment is done, do you think you're going to get back on track and be able to get some of that done?
I think so. Now, they may not move, the House may not move as fast as I'd like them to, but I think that if I keep pressing, especially the fact that they're bipartisan bills,
right.
Myself and a Democrat, a reasonable Democrat, I think they'll look at the merits of the bill. we have to stop. We have to put aside the personalities and look at the merits of the bills and philosophy over personality. I think that's what American people want us to do, and cut out a lot of the rhetoric.
Well,
Move slowly, but there's one particular bill, veterans bill, to help our wounded warriors that I passed out of the House. The Senate actually passed it, and they've revised it a little bit, so it has to come back to the House, and we're hoping we'll get that done. It has to do with housing and increasing the allowance for our wounded warriors so they can purchase the homes and the special equipment that they need.
oh, that's wonderful.
That's great.
So, yeah. So that's a good example of what we've done. Basil knows that the Greek Prime Minister was here last week.
Right.
He went to Epiphany first. He attended the Epiphany services and loved it. And he came to D.C. We had several meetings. I led in the House, along with Ted Deutsch, Democrat from South Florida, a bill called the Eastern Mediterranean Partnership. And it's a wonderful bill. What it does, it promotes energy in that region, in the Eastern Mediterranean region, a partnership between Greece, Israel, and Cyprus, and also brings in Egypt as well. And this is going to be extremely beneficial to the United States and our allies. It's an alternative to Russian energy. And they're drilling, and again, off the coast of Cyprus, and they plan to drill off the coast of Greece, off the coast of Crete. And this partnership, and the plan is to build a pipeline to go through Crete onto the mainland, and then get some of these European countries, these NATO countries, such as Italy, on board as well. So it's an initiative that we started in the House. As you mentioned, Basil, I'm the chairman of the Hellenic Israel Alliance, and it's really doing well. It's good for Greece, but more importantly, it's good for the United States, and it's great for Israel and Cyprus.
Sure. And you know what? Did you get a good chance to have a nice conversation with the Prime Minister when he was in Tarpon?
I did, and he was educated in the United States, Harvard, Stanford. His vocabulary is better than mine. But very reasonable, very pro-American, wanting to work with us. They wanted to be participating in the F-35 program. And then, they need some assistance, some military assistance. They're not asking for us to put boots on the ground at all. But Turkey is a threat to them. Basil, your grandparents, my grandparents came from that coast of where the islands are, not too far from Turkey. And Turkey is, they've really been bad actors in that region. And they're threatening to take those islands. And they're threatening the sovereignty, infringing upon the sovereignty of Greece and Cyprus.
Right.
So, these are great allies again, along with Israel, true democracies in the Eastern Mediterranean. So we've got to make sure that people know where we stand on this.
We want to thank you for that. We got to cut out now.
Yeah, listen, Gus, we're going to come back to you next in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much for being on the show.
I look forward to it.
I'll talk to you soon, Gus. Again, folks.
I hope I'm helpful.
You are more than helpful. My audience loves you. We'll be right back with more of A Pinch of Basile after these messages.
This is America Matters Media on AM 1180 KCKQ, a Lotus broadcast station. The power of radio since 1967.
Unable to listen to the whole show? A recording of today's program will be available later today. Visit americamatters.us and click on the podcast link. Now, back to the show.
We are back. Welcome back to A Pinch of Basile. And Basil is just not in the 21st century just yet. He's planning to be here by Thursday. And hopefully he'll have his new computer then. Are you there yet, Basil? Not yet. All right, so we are.
I'm here. Yeah,
are.
kid. You. All right.
21st century man. Right?
I don't want to be here, but I'm here. But okay, no. Did you let people know that they should go ahead and get a hold of us on Facebook?
I have not done that yet. You go right ahead and tell them all about it.
Well, listen, we're streaming this live on Facebook. You can also listen on the TuneIn app on any phone.
Oh, yes, on the TuneIn app as well. And boy, this is going to be a fun show, I can tell. If you're online with us on Facebook, you can give us a call at 844-790-8255. And if you're kind of shy and would rather not talk, you can text us at 775-237-2266. We do love to hear from you. Basil likes to hear your questions. So, like I said, if you're on Facebook, please feel free to ask any questions. And when he can tune in with us, I'm sure he'll answer them also.
I'm here.
There you are.
I'm here. But you know what I love? You know what I love about Gus? He is so, people love him in that role.
They do love him, that's for sure. He's a great guy, and he's been very gracious with his time with us. He's told us that, he'll try and get to us anytime he can and share information, and I think that's invaluable to get it direct from somebody who's right there on the floor. So we will continue.
No two ways about it.
Yeah, we'll continue to have him on as often as we can. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And he's a good friend. I had lunch with him and his lovely wife. It was just fantastic.
That's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yep. So
anyway, now that people can hear me.
For a minute.
January. Listen, folks, here are a couple of my dates coming up. January 24th in Ottawa, Canada, for the Canadian AHEPA, the American Hellenic Educational Progressive Association.
I think we're just going to cut you out completely, buddy. I just don't think we're even going to let you be on this show.
Retell it. A pinch of Janice.
There you go. It just doesn't ring quite right, There's something wrong with that.
It's all right. Story. I'd rather shoot heroin in my butt. Anyway, February 7th, I'll be in Detroit at Andiamo's, the celebrity showroom, Growing Up Greek in America to help benefit the Greek Independence Parade Committee. Call for tickets, 586-268-3200. Sunday, February 9th through the 12th, the UPA Cruise for St. Mark's on Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. And Irene Manis, I do love you. I do. I know you don't think I do, but I do. Anyway, February 14th and 15th, Valentine's weekend at Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
And you're fading out again. There you go. So hopefully you can make one of those dates with Basil and be able to see one of his shows. He's fun to watch. I've been to him myself, believe it or not. And when he comes out here to Reno, and he didn't mention Reno coming up this year, so we'll have to ask him when he comes back in if he's going to be out here in this way.
You know what? I'm going to try. I'm definitely going to try to come back to Reno. I just didn't get the opportunity to book Reno back to back like I always do with Vegas.
Sure.
I love Reno. Come on, when I walk in your international airport in Reno, who sees this big mug at the airport? That's just enough to say, I'm not going to take this flight. But I want you guys to come anyway. But on Sunday, February 16th, I'll be in Harrisburg, PA again.
Oh, yes, Harrisburg, PA. It's fun there, right? I don't think I've been to Harrisburg myself. Been to Pennsylvania, but not Harrisburg. So if you live there, hopefully you'll be able to go and see Basil when he does his show there. And are you back yet there, Basil?
I'm back. February 19th or the 22nd, I'll be at the Comedy Cabana in Myrtle Beach. Call 843-449-4242. And for the rest of the shows, before we get blocked off again for whatever reason, go to BasilLive.com. That's BasilLive.com. Check out all of our dates. Click whatever for the information or the ticket links. You can get all that there. But I got to be honest with you, Janice. I'll tell you what, I promise you that I'll have the new computer by next week. I'm really excited because I just want to kill myself right now. But I got to tell you, I'm excited about this. And I want to thank Gus again, Gus Bilarakis, wonderful congressman. Folks, the sincerity that comes from that man and his family can't get it anywhere else. That's one wonderful person.
And I think that oftentimes as just regular people out here, just trying to make a living, we don't realize the kinds of things that our representatives are doing. And I know not all of them are good at what they do necessarily, but when I pulled up, because part of my job is getting information for you, and when I pulled up the legislation that he sponsored and co-sponsored, I was really pleased to see how much was there, because it feels like nothing's happening, that it's all bottlenecked with the impeachment and just getting mad about things that the president's doing. So when you see that there are people out there, and he said he's co-sponsoring and they're bipartisan, that's good to hear. Even if you don't see it, it's good to hear.
No two ways about it. He's got that group of Democrats and Republicans who are still pushing legislation through and trying to get it through all this BS, if you will.
Yeah, and you wouldn't know that if you listen to most of the mainstream media. No matter which side of the aisle you're on, you're getting really biased reporting, and it's hard because you just really don't know what to believe. And so it's great to hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Right? Yeah, right. Christian, you're over there shaking your head. Yep, that's right. It's all good.
I don't know what you guys are, that's right about, but I'll tell you what, whatever you said, and you said it well, that's right.
Good for you. Just agree with me. It's a good thing.
That's why I love you. I don't know why we're not married, for God's sakes. I mean, you are my everything. That's all I'm going to say.
At least for an hour on Tuesdays.
Well, listen, you get what you get. You get your pinch of basil, you move on.
There you go.
All right? That's all I'm saying.
Go. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Let me tell you, there's a lot of women out there, Janice, that want me. I'm just saying. I don't know who the hell they are, but I know there's a lot of women out there.
There's one or two here and there, I'm sure. So there you go.
What if you just one or two? Listen, I'm very I was very popular in prison with the boys in cell block C. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't want to know.
La, 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 la.
That's right.
Anyway.
That's what you're hearing. So you're having your struggles with your computer, but we have some interesting stuff we're going to talk about in the next segment. We can even start a little bit right now if you want. Oh, maybe not. Maybe we don't want to because Basil took off. Oh, but we are going to share with you a little bit. Today is 100 years that in 1920, the 18th Amendment went through for prohibition. And so folks were not able to drink after a certain period of time, at least not legally. Are you there yet, my bud? No,
in fact, his computer just dropped him altogether. So.
Oh, how wonderful that is.
You get to talk for the next 2.5 minutes,
No
or
worries.
we can go to a break and try to bring him back.
Well, why don't we, I'll just let you know that we would love to hear from you, and if you're on Facebook, please send us some questions, and when I can get through to Basil, I'll get them answered for you. And in the meantime, I think I will take you up on that, Christian, and we'll go ahead and let our audience get some commercial time in, and then we'll come back with a pinch of basil, and hopefully with basil. That would be good.
Yeah.
To join the conversation, call 844-790-TALK. That's 844-790-8255. Now back to the show.
Welcome back. You are
so glad you are back to a pinch of basil. If you have any questions for me, just give us a call at 844-790-8255. You may want to ask me personal questions like basil. Perhaps you're watching too much porn on your computer, and that's the reason why you're having these issues. Could very well be. I didn't get any type of transmitted disease, but evidently my computer has. Nonetheless, we are celebrating something.
Something.
100.
God knows what. Oh, come on, Basil. This cannot be. All right, this is 100 years since Prohibition began. And no, I'm not a Pinch of Basile. He's trying to come back into the real world here and not have his computer freezing.
And
on
I am
him.
back.
There you go.
Yes,
Spent a lot of time saying that.
What was the question? Was there a personal question about sexually transmitted diseases to my computer?
No.
Okay.
No, just talking about the 100 years since Prohibition began.
Yeah, you know what? You and I were talking about this earlier, and I got to admit, people have no idea. They made their own hooch. They made their own hooch, and many of them died.
Yeah.
Went blind, had diseases or health issues because they drank almost pure alcohol.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Actually, I'll remember...
Can you imagine being an alcoholic at that time? That had to be, I mean, you're talking mega cold turkey or take your chances, right?
Well, I got to be honest with you. I mean, I love a good drink, but I know there's a lot of people who can't control their drinking habit.
Yeah.
Can you imagine having that issue with drinking? I mean, I remember, and I don't want to defame her in any way, but Kitty Dukakis, it was a big thing that she was drinking rubbing alcohol.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ugh. Ugh. No, I cannot imagine that at all. That is just horrid. Just horrid. Rubbing alcohol. What a brutal way to get your fix. I mean, ugh. I've known a lot of people that have had problems, but they've not told me they tried that. So thankfully, they haven't gotten that far.
Yeah. Thank God you got that right.
Yeah.
Oh, terrible. But, people were making hooch in the bathtub. People were making hooch. I remember there was a movie, Mr. Roberts, the movie Mr. Roberts that was done back, I want to say in the early 50s.
Right.
And they were trying to see what scotch tasted like. And they took rubbing alcohol. And then they added some iodine. And then they added a little bit of Coca-Cola. And they were trying to make it taste like scotch.
Yes.
And these guys are going, yeah, that tastes like scotch. I'm like, oh my God. First of all, I can't stand regular scotch.
Yeah.
But for these guys to go ahead and do that. And that's where, a lot of people.
Yep. So Basil is trying to tell us all about how people made the hooch when we were experiencing Prohibition. And I have not had that experience personally. I had a friend that decided to do some, what is it, when I know there's
moonshine?
Yes, moonshine.
Oh.
My
God.
ex decided that he was going to partake in the moonshine with a friend. Oh my. I've never seen him fall into a bathtub so quickly.
I actually tried moonshine for the first time in southern Pennsylvania, south of Pittsburgh, going into West Virginia. And they say, you want to try some moonshine? So I've never had it before. So for the experience, I tried moonshine. I drank a little bit, and I had some cherries that were in the moonshine and some strawberries.
Okay, well, we're losing you again, so we're going to lose a part of that story about cherries, I think he said, didn't he?
Maybe strawberries?
Strawberries? Was that what it was? Boy, I don't know. Yeah, he's got better stories than I, that's for sure. But I can tell you that during that time, they were saying that it wasn't illegal to drink. It was just illegal, I guess, to sell. So prior to the time period that this went into effect, I mean, they were selling off, they were partying. Can you imagine that, Christian? That had to have been just totally crazy.
So they could get the booze, but only for their personal consumption.
Yeah, initially, yeah. So they were getting as much as they can. One person actually bought up like a whole liquor store, trying to, get as much as possible to have on hand. That's just crazy. It's just crazy. So, but they're talking about the fact that I pulled up a New York Times story, and now my computer's decided to freeze. Isn't that lovely? And I have an updated version. Thank you very much. You're back, so tell us your story.
I'm back. No, I was going to tell you. Did you? Well, how far did you get?
Something about strawberries or
moonshine?
something. Something about strawberries or cherries or.
Oh my God! I drank the hooch that was in it. They had this moonshine, and they had cherries and strawberries in there, and you ate it that way, and it kind of camouflaged the taste. But it was bad because I wound up. I went to bed and a little bit drunk. I went to bed, had a dream. Had a dream that Jesus broke down my door at my hotel and beat the crap out of me. And that can't be a good thing. I'm just saying.
I would not think so, sir.
No, I don't think so. Good Christian boy like myself.
Big trouble.
To say the least. Janice, listen, just for grins, can you tell me who is going to be our guest coming up in the next few weeks?
No, I cannot.
Well.
How about Gus Bilarakis is one, for sure.
I would love to have Gus Bilarakis in the next few weeks. I know he'll be on.
We tried to have Mina Samuels, Run Like a Girl, remember?
Oh,
and it just, everything seemed to fall apart on that. So I am going to try and get her back again because I think that she's such a great guest. I had her on my show, and she was wonderful. So we're gonna give that a shot again and see if we can get her on because I think your audience would enjoy her too.
I think, and also a good friend of mine, Mike Gersh, who's a comedian who also wrote a book about his life. And he grew up, basically, he and his brother grew up without a mother that was killed by a drunk driver. And it tells his whole story and about how a couple of his friends passed away through drunk driving. And it's a great book. He speaks all over the country. And I want to say he goes to as far as Canada. And I'm also going to try and get one of my friends, Greg Morton, who was on America's Got Talent. He was that crazy comedian who did all the sound effects and everything and did all the monsters and everything. Funny cat, good friend. I want to bring him on. And just one of the nicest guys you will ever meet. So sweet, so sincere. He's from Canada as well, Greg Morton, and we're going to try and get him on as well. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to make sure that you and I talk about that.
Okay. I think we should ask the audience if they have any particular topic they'd like you to do, or any guests that they'd like to see. Maybe we can find them for you.
You know what? Absolutely. And there's a couple of NFL players now that the season's over that I'm friends with. I like to bring them on and find out what goes on in the NFL, especially now that it's playoffs. And I'm sure, I don't know, I'm assuming that you guys might be San Francisco 49er fans.
Are you talking to us?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm talking. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe you're wrong. Maybe you're wrong.
Maybe the Las Vegas Raiders. Could that be better? I don't know.
I don't see Christian shaking his head in that one either. So my brother would probably say yes to the Raiders.
I'm actually a Denver Broncos fan, in the postseason, I'm rooting for San Francisco because it's basically the Broncos 2.0.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh my God, really? That's what you call that?
Yeah, you got John Lynch, Shanahan.
Well, my best friend from high school, her son just won I'm trying to remember, it was the Chevy Tahoe from Jimmy Johnson in the NASCAR contest that he had. So he got to go meet Jimmy Johnson and do the whole thing. It's a video on. I couldn't believe it when she told me. I was like, are you kidding me? Oh, that was very cool. John, my husband, would have been very jealous. He would love to have done that.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson just got, you probably said something about it, just got elected to the Football Hall of Fame. And also the coach from the Steelers.
Bill Cowher.
Was there. Bill Cowher was. Actually, I have a funny story. I was playing in a celebrity golf tournament, and Cowher was there. And I'm a huge Browns fan. At that time, he was coaching the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I was doing everything I could to piss him off. And he's sitting there, goes, Basile, I love you, but I'm going to kill you somewhere between the 16th and 17th hole. I haven't decided which one. I started laughing.
Wow.
Congratulations to Bill Cowher. And yeah, you never realize how big he is. Like, I'm 6'2", he's 6'2", and I'm like, wow, because he's always around. You always think he's a small guy because he's around guys who are, 6'8", 6'9", so we always saw him on the sideline. But what congratulations to both Jimmy Johnson and also Bill Cowher for doing that. But I got my picks. I don't think anyone's going to be able to touch Kansas City. Kansas City Chiefs were just simply unbelievable. The Houston Texans did a hell of a job. 24 points in the beginning, and then almost 51 unanswered points that Kansas City put on them. And I'll tell you what, that young quarterback they got over there is a great whippersnapper, and I'll tell you, he impressed the living hell out of me. For all those who are actually watching us right now on Basile Fans, thank you so much. If you have any quick questions, please let us know what they are right now, if you can.
Now.
Before my microphone goes dead again. So I want you guys to go ahead and do this. Again, I want to thank all of you who helped me out with this crazy this crazy holiday season. You guys have been blessed. I did this show in Sarasota, Florida. And Janice, have you ever been to Sarasota, Florida?
I have not.
You gotta go. Christian, you ever been?
I can't say I have. Maybe I've flown over it going to Orlando.
Yeah, you probably have, but I'll tell you what, the thing that's amazing is the Ringling Brothers, the circus, used to park there in the wintertime. And so, before then they revamped everything in the wintertime and everything. And people used to see elephants and different animals in the fields of Sarasota. And it was hysterical. They used to tell me some of the things that they would see, but just unbelievable. A lot of history. The Ringling Museum, Art Museum, fantastic there. I want to thank the people over in Sarasota for New Year's Eve and the rest of the week that we did the show there. I want to thank all the people that came to see me in Clearwater, Florida, where we did the Growing Up Greek in America show. Great time. Big shout out to RG Catering, who did a fantastic job there as well. Folks, if you ever want some great catering, go to RG Catering. Fantastic. My cousin Nikki did a great job there. And then for all the others who came, my aunts, uncles, cousins, friends, relatives, thank you so much for coming. It's been great. But folks, it's about that time. So I hate to say goodbye, but I'm going to say goodbye pretty soon. We have so much. Let me see what we got here. I got to say this. Reminders, don't forget to listen every week on Tuesdays from 6 to 7 New York City time, Eastern Coast time. We can be heard all around the world on AmericanMatters.us. If you're using a TuneIn app, just search American Matters. And be sure to keep it on one of your favorite questions and comments for the Basile fans. That's right. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Just give us a call, 844-790-8255. Thanks so much for joining us. You are listening to A Pinch of Basile.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.